Alrighty, welcome back to tonight's Sad Reality. Anyone remember where Dogpack 404 went? The thought kind of occurred to me recently. I was, honestly, I got home from work at 6 today. It was an 8-hour shift. I was like, I wonder where Funny Guy Who Criticized Mr. Beast went. You know, and ev the internet seems to not really know either. I did very minimal amounts of research. If anyone does know, please feel free to inform me by all means, because I'm probably the least informed person here. I was really curious because, well, a few reasons. It kind of ties into the main story I'm going to talk about here. But it seems there's a lot of either misinformation or theories or speculation, but nobody seems to really know the answer. And the first thing that popped up was an 8-minute, literally just a nonsense video where it seemed like DramaTube was farming it for just clicks, views, whatever, and the top comment was like, this guy managed to say 8 minutes of nothing. It's sometimes impressive how little can be said with that amount of time. I hope I'm going the right way. I've already been this way. I think it's up from here. I literally got this game because a friend told me to, and I was like, okay, fine, you know what, I'll play it. And despite the certain themes in this game, I'll say admittedly it's not that bad of a game. In fact, I would even say it's a semi-decent fun platformer, kind of, maybe. It could be worse, but so I got to work today, and as per usual, there's always a few Fireball customers that drive me kind of like insane. It's something that I look back on and I'm like, man, this is gonna be the one thing I remember retail for, and it was shitty customers. That's something you can never really escape. I'm not sure it's... pretty sure it's universal, but I'm not sure it's specific to just retail. Oh my gosh, I'm getting clobbered. I know you can combo him if you can keep him there. There we are. Gameplay. And also gameplay of whatever that is. Does that need to be flagged on YouTube? Is that a fine thing to put on YouTube? It's a game, right? But some of these Fireball customers, the ones that drive me really crazy, they say things that are just objectively not true, or it's for their worldview or whatever. A lot of times it's like, this employee was harassing me because I said so, and this will happen to me, this will happen to my coworkers. And I'm like, we know this is not a case, and then we lie, because they're like, we want to see the manager, and immediately after that, we just go to our, like, the next person nearby, and I'm like, hey, this guy's the manager, you know, and it doesn't really matter, just someone's like, oh yes, we'll deal with it, and we'll punish this person severely, because they have infringed upon your American, I don't know. It's a world we live in, I'll say. And I was thinking, I was like, you know, I'm number 4 in the company. I saw a lot of credit cards and commission sales. I did not mean to fall here, but whatever. Maybe I did, because this is like the last part where I left off, and then I quit out of the game, and I was like, you know, I could pick up here later and make a video out of it, who knows. But sometimes people get mad when, well, for a lot of things. For starters, the thing that I always kind of default to is jealousy, I've noticed, and my life anyways, there's a lot of people that get really, really jealous when you outperform them. That could be any facet of life. That could be academically, that could be at work, whatever. In fact, there might be an old video on this channel where I talk about a coworker who was a little just jealous about me outperforming him, even though he'd been here probably for a year or 2 longer than I have. And because I still outperform him, but I think he just kind of accepts it now. And to me, I feel like the easy solution there is we'll just try harder, I guess. It's like a skill issue, just try harder, you know? And I guess it's not that simple for some people, as they don't really care to change, they just want to win, and that's all it really takes. That kind of brings me to today's subject, you know, you take Mr. Beast, you take all the clowns of the internet world anyways, like myself, and what would you be willing to do to win? You know? You rage bait people, you like farm, do you people to smash like and subscribe and all that stuff that nobody likes. Okay, I've never actually used the items in this game. How do I use the items? Item is Y, good to know. I think this heals me a little bit. Okay, it does. It's like a potion, kind of. Can you hit me from here? You cannot. Noted. It's... how far would you go? Like, would you be willing to make deals with the devil? Would you be willing to sell your soul? Where's your limit to that? And I feel like for a lot of people, they don't know what their limit is, and that often will get tested, especially the further you get into life. There we are. What a free mini-boss, if that's going to be considered a mini-boss. I need to grab that milk. Let's inhale. When people think about, like, Mr. Beast doing collabs with Logan Paul and the other parts of the shitternet, as some people call it, I look back on that and I'm like, I wonder what he would look like, his past self, how he would look upon his future self. At least in the regard that, you know, this is what he's doing now, this is his life, you know? And to me, I'm kind of the same way. I'm like, oh hey, you know, this kid's a furry, it's, you know, me in the future, kind of gross. But here we are, you know, we still make those poor decisions and end up in places that, you know, we're here. And for me, I'm like, well, am I better for it? I mean, I've made a lot of cool friends who are also furries and all that, but furries are weird, they're gross, you know? It's just kind of this never-ending battle of, I guess, ideals is where it's come from. The slime pit. This is definitely a place. Okay, I'm not going down there because I know there's stuff. This guy has a funny attack. If I eat this, does this? Yeah, I'm totally fine with that, because that means this is like charging up whatever this kind of attack I have. Fine by me. So all you do is you do this, then you sit down, and you regenerate. But, where do the morals lie? You know, would you be willing to scam people to make a living? And sometimes that's how I think some people look at me in this business. Would you be willing to do that? And I'd like to think I certainly haven't done that, but I know there are people who have, you know? And that's... business is business, as per usual. And then here comes the other interesting question. This is kind of really the main part of the video I want to get to. The people that be willing to take you down, that see success, and they're like, man, I hate this, I despise this. And I'm not going to say Dogpack's one of those people. I think there's a lot of genuine issues or reasons to not like Mr. Beast, and I'm not gonna sit here and say, you know, he's amazing or anything, but you can have the whole world to yourself. And also I'm gonna die here, and that is not the goal. You could have it all. You could have everything you could possibly want, and I don't know. What I've been told is, you know, you could sell yourself for the world, and most people look at that and are like, oh, that's awful, you know? But most people don't realize, I guess, just how far they'd be willing to go. I'm gonna die here, aren't I? One of the guys earlier was just like, oh yeah, just stay on the platform, and you'll be fine. Okay, we go up here. Mr. Shockwave's back. Because there'd be plenty of people who would be willing to, I guess, usurp power, and even when you look at, like, the whole Trump Venezuela thing, I'm not going to say things are perfect, because they're very much not, but you've also, I'm sure you've heard stories where things are pretty bad, and, oh, they can get worse. They can get so much worse if, I guess, we don't appreciate them for how they are now. That's not to say we shouldn't strive for things to be better, but I guess in my opinion anyways, I feel like the lesson you learned... Oh, this guy can parry. Parry this casual. Where do I go from here? Okay, I can keep going. And look at that, I can finally sit down at a checkpoint. And get rid of all the rest of this. I guess that is to say, not to appreciate the evils of this world, but to remember that things could be worse and say, hey, you know, I guess it's fine the way it is. And it's funny too, because I keep hearing this kind of echo in the back of my mind. I know I said this like a couple videos ago. I think it was Revelation 22 somewhere. But basically, it's not our goal. It's not our job to eradicate evil from this world. It's not really for us to do. If you're just silent and just let things happen, kind of, that's honestly, it's maybe not the best way, but it's kind of the way we're supposed to go about things too. And maybe it feels counterproductive not to do anything, but just remember there are worse evils in the world, you know, and I guess it's better we're not part of that. I'll be reading the dialogue or like paying attention to this. Halt, who goes there? I have fireballs, and this guy can block everything I do. Okay. Spam. That still counts as his attacking animation when he bounces back. Alright, that's easy. Gameplay. I feel like, too, it takes a certain amount of malice to actively go out of your way. Just buy someone so much to try to take them down, too. And the only other info I found with Dogpack, for example, is he worked for Mr. Beast for like 20 days, and the credibility he had was he violated NDA to talk about things, and everyone immediately gave him, I guess, the benefit of the doubt because he was willing to risk so much for basically just saying, hey, this is a bit of a shit show. Regenerating health. Makes you wonder too. You look at all the evil people of this world, and I don't think most of them... Oh, I'm dead. Most of those people don't see themselves as evil, and maybe they weren't always that way, so maybe things got to their head. But, it certainly begs the question why these things happen, and then why we let them happen, and the whole point of no return. Which, fun fact, I asked my Alexa this morning, good morning, Alexa. Good morning. Today's daily fact of whatever. She started talking about, it's called, Crossing the Rubicon. I did a little bit of research. I'm probably super spotty on this. I know it was when Caesar crossed the Rubicon, and what the idiom essentially means is the point of no return. But functionally, I think it was in the middle of a civil war, I think, or something like that, or just a war in some regard. But it basically meant, hey, no turning back now, you know? And I guess it makes me wonder where people are in life, or what would push people to go so far as to say it's, you know, forget me, and let the evil take over, or whatever. So, that's all to say. Whatever it takes, I would say don't go too far, but also make sure you go just far enough to not just let the world slip by day after day. Bible also says to count your days, and I'm pretty bad at that because it's already January 10th and I still haven't found an editor for my main channel. So, oh boy, I'm slacking here. And that's 28 damage I did not need to take. Oh, combo's crazy though. Also, I like the gameplay where you can stagger enemies and you can like keep launching them. It reminds me of some really old, what's called math games, or there's a website called Kaiza. It's like Kaiza or Keezy, Life is Fun, or something. That's what their thing was. I remember nothing about it other than as a kid, that was my iPad kid-tism. I enjoyed it. So, thank you so much for watching. Drop down in the comments if you have any information, I guess with Dogpack or anything else. Funny fun fact, crossing the Rubicon. You crossed the Rubicon in your own life, be sure to let me know. And I don't know, I like reading stuff on YouTube. People have stories, I have a story, and maybe that'll add up to something one day. So, thank you so much for watching. Hope you have a fantastic rest of your night, and I will see you in tomorrow's Sad Reality. Have a good one, y'all.